Greetings, I am Lies.
And I am Scandal.
And let's play a game together.
Yes.
All right, so we are discussing how it can be very challenging for young adults to ask more mature adults for help, and that is agreed. It is a challenging thing. However, it is something I believe we all need to work at, because if we are meant to be a community and we are meant to be a team, it is important that we are able to talk to each other. Now, the offer has been declined. Here we go.
Yes, the pepperoni pizza and caramel chocolate ice cream make me feel better.
Yeah.
But again, I'm also like, part of me is kind of concerned and going, yeah, and then the adult won't do anything. I'm like, as far as I could tell, based on the information that I usually have, even from other adults, most adults will still do something. The fact that you still said something going, you are literally fucking being harassed, and you've had this horrific picture that Kayla has on her phone, by the way, that she could show her mom.
Yeah.
Like, I know that some people find that to be uncomfortable, but I've also known a lot of kids who share a lot with their parents of being like, this is an open communication, like, basically a relationship where I feel very comfortable of talking to you about things that bother me, things that upset me.
Yep.
Here's things that I think are interesting or cute.
I love the idea that it is very clear Kayla's comfortable with her mom.
Right?
Like, this suggests Kayla and her mom have a very good relationship.
Right.
And I like that, as well as that she came home and went, my friend needs pepperoni pizza and caramel chocolate ice cream, and we need to dump some on you. And she goes, let me order that and buy that, and then sit down and spill it, dear. I gotcha.
Right? I love that. God, I just want more positive parents.
Oh, wow. Okay, where are we now? Is this outside of her house?
Yes.
Like, is this outside of Kayla's house?
I think this was actually outside of Burns' house, if I remember correctly.
I know, but how would they be driving us home from here?
I don't know.
Her house looks exactly like ours. It's fine.
Are
you sure you don't want us to drive you home?
Yes, I am. It's only a 10-minute walk.
Okay. Still, be careful.
Okay, at a time like this, with somebody who's been obsessively stalking you,
Walking
Again,
alone.
I'm going like, Byrne seems ridiculously naive and very hopeful that things will just go away if she doesn't interact with them.
That experience of going, if he hasn't been texting me and calling me, my problems will just go away.
And I've known some people like that. I have also done it.
If I don't deal with it, eventually it'll be too much effort and it will just go away.
It'll go bye-bye. Bye-bye.
And that doesn't usually happen.
Don't worry. He's already proven that he is more than willing to get in your face. He's also more than willing to basically threaten you.
Is this when the first love interest gets introduced?
I hope
Finally?
so.
I don't know.
Except that also, like, I feel bad rooting for somebody to show up. Yes.
I guess at this point, I'm rooting for the game to move forward at this point is what I'm rooting for. Going, I don't know.
I'm rooting for the trope to rear its ugly head because I want to be done with this.
Now going, again, if this had been framed as something else, if it had been set up differently, I would have responded differently to it. If I had just picked this up as a novel and it hadn't been pitched as a romance novel,
this would have been very different.
Is this a psychological thriller? What is this? Is this a character profile? What is this?
This would be fascinating. But yeah, as a romance, this is weird.
Yeah, and you're just like,
We actually had that discussion, so I think we've mentioned it, but again, like, we had a funny time sort of going, can you imagine this game being originally, like, what would happen if somebody told you going, this is a horror, freshman fantasies,
right?
And then just kind of like trying to fit that in. So, like, again, we did actually talk about it, where I keep pointing it out because I find it to be fascinating, really, of just how much is particularly me. Like, I think old me was hilarious with that, of just not connecting to the choices game that we played with the vampires of Bloodbound or whatever the heck it was. Bloodborne. And just going like, it was so funny. I did not get what I was reading at all. And I was like, this is hilarious. It's so tongue-in-cheek. And then later going, wait a minute.
They're playing it straight. Oh my God.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll see you tomorrow.
So framing is really important, and how you introduce your audience to it, and I would tend to say, unless you write it with the understanding that they don't know what they're getting into, and you aggressively and actively bring your reader in.
Right.
Like, there are some authors that do that. It doesn't matter what they're writing. You're brought in very quickly for the experience they're trying to share with you.
Yes.
And so it doesn't matter what the tone, the book itself tells you what the tone of it is.
Yes.
And so you don't really need to read the cover flap or anything.
Right, which is actually some activity that I really enjoy doing. So I have I have a book called the Dark Angel series. My friend has also giggled about it because if you look at the first book of the trilogy of the Dark Angel series, the Dark Angel trilogy, by Meredith Ann Pierce. No. I can't remember her name. I apologize. I'll figure it out later.
It's okay.
But it's really funny because when you read the background of it, they had actually re-released it. It's a newer edition, and it says that it's like Twilight. It makes some weird comparisons to Twilight at the time with Stephanie
So what
Myers.
they're doing is there's this thing a lot of times when publishing houses or agents like pitch books, when they're publishing a book to try and get it to sell, they're going to try and pitch it to whatever market they can think they can possibly get in. Sort of like adding 900 tags to your videos or things going, anybody ever, I want to see this, but I'm going to try and tag the most popular things, right? And so what you get is, when it's released originally, you've got, this is a juvenile fiction where you've got a kid being, you know, kidnapped by a monster kind of thing, and she has to find her way out of it. When it's published again later after the advent of Twilight, they're like, he's an angel and a monster and an angel and a demon and vampires everywhere. He's a vampire and an angel and a demon. And it's just, that's the whole back of the book.
Right.
And he's like, beautiful and sexy and amazing. And you're like, they're like 11 and 12.
Yeah, that's it.
Just so you know.
Just so you
yeah,
know.
He is beautiful. But like as a 12-year-old.
But like a 12-year-old is pretty.
Like a 12-year-old, like super beautiful child.
Yeah.
Like amazingly, like you just look at him and go, damn, that's beautiful. But usually, like just usually, your adult woman audience isn't going to go, yeah, I think that 12-year-old's hot as hell. And fictional, obviously, doesn't matter if you do or not.
It's a made-up character.
Doesn't matter if you do or not, because it's fictional. It doesn't matter. You're attracted to an idea in somebody's head written in words on a page.
And also, again, you were once a 12-year-old. I think you can connect with your previous 12-year-old self.
On the other hand, he's not written sexy, and the book's not written sexy. There's no sexy in there at all that either of us could pick up at all. Okay, see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, Bern.
Hi.
No U-turns, my dude. Just don't do it.
Oh, God.
Okay?
I mean, it's
that
a
is,
mood.
see how high this sign is on its own separate pole? You must know you cannot turn around here. It's very important.
Need it. When I'm home, I'm going to take a shower and study for tomorrow's test. Then I'm going to sleep early. I don't want to think about Jonathan and his game. I'm not a slut, and that's the truth. I stop in the middle of walking.
In the middle of walking?
Someone's tailing me.
Oh, dear.
Oh, brother.
Also, I'm like in the middle of walking. Like
I'm also like, we're
thinking,
still fucking.
Are we dead in the middle? Like we're 5 minutes out?
I spin around to look whoever or whatever it is behind.
Okay.
To look at whoever.
To look whoever.
Or whatever it is behind me.
I spin to look whoever or whatever it is behind me. So I spin to look behind. You need at. You need at.
At is missing.
Please proofread. It's very important. What is that? Sun the head? What is that? Join the head.
Join the head.
That is the
207
Okay, who wants to call this phone number?
207-0817, or is it 6?
Or I don't know, but anyway.
Or it might be 0017. That's super funny.
Sorry, I saw your phone number in Freshman Fantasies. Who is this?
Who is this? I need to know. No, nobody's there. I get goosebumps when I realize that it's a full. This is nighttime.
When I realize, you can realize that it will be a full moon tonight. Or, again, the moon doesn't only come out at night. One thing that bothers me is in games and in a lot of stories, the moon is only out at night. What you have to realize is the moon doesn't go around the Earth in a 24-hour cycle that only makes it visible for you at exactly during the dark periods of your day.
You see it
regardless of how long your dark period is, because it's either summer or winter.
Right.
It goes around no matter what, and you can see it in the day all the freaking time.
Yep.
Especially when it's full. And sometimes when you want to see a freaking full moon, you see it setting during the sunset, and there's no full moon that night for you because it didn't hit that cycle on your side of the world.
Right.
So it bothers me that people are always like, it's nighttime, there's the full moon, going sometimes no. And also, I just am waiting for somebody to be like, werewolves in the middle of the day because the full moon is in the sky at noon.
Honestly, I wonder what that would actually cause, because you have the light of the sun and the moon. Like, what would that do to your werewolf? Like,
You just have all of them, these really grumpy, hairy, frustrated people that are halfway transformed going, I hate everything today.
They're all like, are you telling me that they're all going to be like kimono mimis walking around going,
Or basically they just look like super gruff wilderness dudes, right? Basically they're all just wilderness men going,
they all become real in about 5 seconds.
hungry and grumpy. And for some reason, I just want scratches really bad on my head.
Yeah.
Damn it.
I get goosebumps when I realize that it's a full moon tonight. I continue my walk, and I go faster this time. I think I would rather meet a ghost than another person. My house is just around the corner.
Also, this implies large city. High rises do not happen in small towns.
No, they do not. It also sounds like we're in the middle of town.
I was going to say, if we are in a city that is as big as the visual infrastructure implies, the fact that in the afternoon with these beautiful shadows on a weekday, because we were in school.
Joseph looks like to me.
I was going to say, hold that thought. That there is no one else out here at all, and we're basically having a dark of the night alley experience on this beautiful sunset. Sounds bizarre.
It sounds really weird.
Like super strange.
Okay, so for me, this looks like Denver.
Oh, does it?
It really reminds me of Denver!
That's hilarious.
It kind of does! Sorry, I'm having this thing going like it looks like Denver.
That's adorable. I was kind of getting a downtown San Diego kind of vibe for this particular picture, but I can see
that. Yeah, well, I mean, because it reminds me, like, so we've been to a
I
couple
know
of
where
cons.
you're thinking of.
I'm like, we've had a couple of cons. Also, like, wow, I halt abruptly this time and turn around. Jonathan! Jonathan stands behind me, because of course he would be, because that's what kind of story this is, and we're really trying to hammer this home, and we're really spending an awful lot of time on this. We really could, again, just move past this,
and do
because this
something else.
doesn't feel like it's a part of the romance thing. That's what keeps throwing me off. I keep waiting for the romance to appear.
And again, it
because
doesn't have to.
Nope.
But it would be really good if you just let your reader know, rather than, one wild night, now she's off to college. And you
this is not One Wild Night.
And you went, and you basically let them know that there's like a suspenseful thriller kind of experience of building up your character in this dark space, and then eventually going, and I will get over that and move on to something else and go date.
Right?
And who knows?
What do you want? I walk backwards, but he comes closer to me.
Hold
How
on.
long have you been following me?
Again, are we implying again that we're completely alone in this giant ass city? There's no traffic, there's no other pedestrians, there's nothing.
Honestly, that means they have solved their homeless problem.
Perfect. Yay!
We've given affordable housing to everyone. Yay!
Whoa! And everyone is so happy with their beautiful interiors and their access to like comfort and their home situation.
Yep.
If they're all like, we just stay inside and have a fabulous time. We got plenty of room. Everything's clean. We're psychologically supported. We live with people we want to live with because we were able to choose them. Good.
That's great.
Done.
Awesome.
Pep.
Done.
Stamped. Secondly, they're all inside for quarantine.
Oh, excellent. See? Very good.
Everyone's inside following quarantine. Good job.
Yep, I said,
Right.
How long have you been following me?
Since you and Kayla left school, I waited outside of her house for 3 hours while you had dinner.
Honestly, I was going to be like, dude, you are dead. I went outside and I have the sunburn because of you.
I just sat in my car and I just ran the AC and I had to drive away and go get gas and come back to run the AC
and panicked when I had to leave. Actually, I carry a gallon of gas or a couple of gallons of gas.
I got out of my car, got into my trunk and refilled my gas tank while staring at Kayla's house to make sure you didn't leave. Did you see the stalker sitting there running the air conditioner?
I'm sorry.
Climbs out of the car, goes, opens it. You're not supposed to put the gas in while the car's running. Goes, turns off the car, comes back, refills the gas with like 5 gallon things.
Again,
then goes, turns the power back on, sits there again, stares at the house.
This would be great. Okay, so I do apologize. I know for some people, be like, oh my god, this is completely tasteless. But again, this is the thing of us going, this is clearly fictional. This is ridiculous.
Again, as serious as this is, and when we deal with serious topics, we always like to try and have fun.
Right.
And it does not mean the topic is not serious, but it does mean that there can always be something that you can laugh about.
Right. And some days, learning how to laugh is a good thing. There's also, though, a time and place to take like that and put that down. This is also, again, a goddamn game.
It's
this
fiction.
is so
You can poke fun at anything you want. Honestly, I can see someone taking this whole thing and just laughing their ass off through the entire prologue and being like, oh my god, this is so ridiculous. Doing one of those like cringe reaction videos to the game and just taking the whole thing as a joke.
Right.
Like, you can take this a lot of different ways. I can also imagine someone going, okay, so I played this game. Let me write a giant, beautiful video essay about this.
Right?
You know?
And again, this is what the fun thing is about media. You really can interpret it in many, many different ways.
Yes.
And it is totally, that is one of those things that's going to happen. Like, I still love the story. So I learned about actually somebody recently where they were like, my partner, where when she saw Mulan, so the Disney's Mulan, when she was a child, Mulan as a character terrified her.
Just
which
scary.
I thought was wild, because they were like, you never know how you're ever going to interpret a piece of media versus what someone else will interpret it. And it's like, it's not like she had any trauma or anything else in association with any of those ideas, but it was just how aggressive Mulan appeared to be.
And whatever
it scared
else,
her.
the way it just worked for her, it scared her. In the same way that, like, I mean, I had a number of things that I was super uncomfortable with when I was a kid, but there were like some things that I was scared of and some things that I wasn't scared of, and the two of them contrasted directly, where it's like, if you're scared of this, why aren't you scared of that? And going, they just hit me differently.
Well, and that's the thing.
Or if this makes you uncomfortable, why doesn't that make you uncomfortable?
Yeah, and you're just
like, to me, they're not the same thing.
Yep.
At any rate, since you left school, I had to refuel my car several times. God, the gas is expensive. You know, I go all out for you. I brought the gas cans so I could always be by your side.
He grabs my hands.
Both of them.
Go away, Jonathan. Haven't you done enough? I don't want to see you.
You deserve it, Burn. You're a bitch.
I slap him really hard somehow after yanking my hands out, which is probably your surprise.
Yes. I yanked my hands away from him and
smacked
slapped
him really hard.
He called me a bitch.
Get lost! I try to walk away, but he stops me.
Burn, why don't you want to be with me?
Dude, hardcore. Dude didn't even react to you getting, like, slapping him.
Gets smacked across the face. His entire world shakes according to the graphics, and it's just like, why don't you want to be with me? You. Whoa.
Are you okay?
Yeah. You. Sloshes a giant bucket of water over him. He keeps coming. Shambling monster. I punch him. He keeps coming. I push him away. He keeps coming.
I mean, honestly,
I use the mace. Why don't you want to be with me? Deadpan.
You'd be like, oh
Holy
my god,
shit.
again, Freshman Fantasies as a horror.
As a horror.
Like, this would be really interesting. Or again, a psychological thriller. Why not? However,
What are
I
we
will
doing?
throw this up as a critique. I am really fucking tired of women's trauma being used as a motivator for a story. Even if it's about women. So, like, in this case, you have a woman who was raped. This is a story of a woman who was raped, and then this is her story.
Yep.
The fact that that was the only conflict they could come up with is frustrating to me.
And also going, is that the conflict? Because right now, it doesn't seem like that's her conflict. Her conflict is, he won't leave me alone. I just want him to.
Which is so weird.
And going, you were sexually assaulted, and apparently... and some people do go, I just
some
don't know
people
how to
don't
deal
care,
with it.
yeah.
I don't care, they just don't know what to do with it.
Oh, that's also...
Like, you don't know how to process or deal with it.
Right.
Sometimes, you've even seen sometimes people will bully me, and I have no idea how to deal with it, so I just stand there and take it, and then I don't even deal with it later, because I don't even know what it was to process it very well.
Yeah.
Going, I have no place to put this in my schema of life, so it just sits out over here, and I go, that happened.
I will hug my friend.
And then I do other
I will
things.
hug my friend. I feel, okay, but like, it has actually been...
So sometimes people go through what would be a traumatic, life-changing, important event that hurts them, and they have nowhere to put it in their life, so they don't do anything with it. It doesn't mean it doesn't hurt, but they don't have any action to take, so they don't. And sometimes they don't even have sadness or frustration as an action to take because there's too much else going on. They just don't have any emotional energy to spend on it. Yep. So
some people really are just...
And people go, what didn't hurt you that bad? And you're going, you have no idea. I have no idea whether it hurt me that bad. I can't even process it. The nervous response, which is essentially the emotional processor response in this case, hasn't come through. It's just sitting over there.
It's gone. Yeah.
Or it's just sitting over there, and someday it might hit me.
Hi.
Am I not good enough for you? You know who I am, don't you? All girls are willing to do whatever it takes to be with me. I'm good looking. I'm smart. I've tried everything. My parents are billionaires. I've worked very hard for my status at school, and you dare to reject me. I worked so hard to get access to you, so I wouldn't intimidate you, so I could approach you at a venue we were both in, so you would be comfortable. I learned about your interests first. I tried so hard to get the one girl that I wanted, and you don't want
What
me.
if this is completely in a very different way?
What?
What if this is actually a critique of... This is meant to be basically a parody of the hot billionaire, sexy guy that wants to come in and take over your life, and he has everything you want and you need. I'm a billionaire, basically. I have resources. I'm smart. I'm intelligent. I'm handsome. I am
all those romance books.
I am Mr. Grey.
Or abducted by the sheik, or, prisoner of a billionaire, or married to, the king of such and such.
Right.
That kind of thing.
What if this is meant to be that?
Like
I would be fascinated. Like, again,
someone's going, I have seen this trope so many fucking times, and they all seem creepy and unfortunate to me. I'm going to write them how I think they would be.
What if that's the point?
That would be
I know this is a little late to maybe be finally picking this up.
What if the only reason they're writing him is that contrast of here's your standard hot guy and what it really looks like when you really look at it from the outside, and now let's write some really cool, well-balanced boys in the rest of the game.
I would be amazed.
I would be fascinated.
I'm sort of just like, oh.
That's a great theory, and I love that.
That's fascinating.
Uh-huh.
Like, again, I don't even know what to say. I'm like, that intrigues.
What if it is lovely tongue-in-cheek and someone's just very, very aware going, I've read 900 of these books or just seen them everywhere.
Going, I was raised with romance
where
books.
It's the hot guy that invades your space, that takes everything over, that makes choices for you, and the girl always falls for him. And the girl loves how handsome and how much money he is, and she's always insecure because so many women want him, but he wants nothing but her.
I mean, and the thing is
and
that
it hits every beat.
So I have to say, if that's true, I will feel bad for the writer because I think based off of what I've seen and what I tend to know of some people, unless it is, again, like a glutton for punishment. I totally get that kind of thing. I'm just going like, this is so weird, let's just do it. Like some people just play stuff even though it makes them uncomfortable. Because you're just curious going, why does this make you so uncomfortable? You want to know what happens, which I totally, legit, I do that too.
Where could they possibly be going with this discomfort fest? Yeah.
Like, I imagine this game for Genius hasn't downloaded very well. Because of this, or it has, but people haven't kept it.
Has it been received very well?
That one. It hasn't been received very well. Downloaded, yes, because that doesn't matter. But it's like they haven't kept it. They haven't continued playing it because of this intro. Because people might not realize, maybe this is a parody and nobody's getting it.
Right? Maybe this person could have had, the writer, this sort of, razor awareness and going, all right, Everybody, I trust my audience. I believe you are all smart, capable women who've been exposed to this shit so much that you're going to go, one, it's uncomfortable to watch burn or whoever your MC is. But two, this is what everyone is painting as super freaking romantic by framing it the other direction. By framing it as this kind of control, this kind of obsession, this kind of presence just is sexy, but it's not. It's not just sexy. It can be something else. But there's a lot of ways to take it. Again, where I'm like, you can also be, again, sympathetic to Jonathan. There's a couple of different ways depending on how you frame it. It depends on who these people are. But again, there are no people. This is fiction.
Right.
So it's just an interesting thing to analyze and go, I would love to know, again, in reference to the rest of the story, where this goes.
Yes.
So, again, though, Jonathan, I would have no idea whether he's distressed in this moment, going, I am completely baffled as to why you would not accept me, or whether he's just pissed off, going, I am entitled, and you need to respond to what I understand the rules are of society. I have done all the social markers, you need to suck my dick.
Right?
I have all of them. I've checked all the boxes. I am the Chad, you must comply.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay. Well, thank you very much, guys, then, for joining us. Like, I'm interested. Like, I'm intrigued. This is interesting. Like, I hope you're having a good time with us.
Yes.
If you want to support us, though, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and please feel free to tell us your thoughts on this.
Yes,
Again,
absolutely.
I understand completely. This is a little late in the game, and totally props for you for getting this far, because it has been weird even to us.
Or
like,
somebody sent you over here from somewhere else and they started you with this episode.
Right, and very much so. And if you haven't seen the other stuff, please go watch it. It is also interesting. And also at the same time, if you want to support us or even sponsor your own game that you'd like to see us play, please feel free to go check out our Ko-Fi or our Patreon. We've got some links in the description down below. But other than that, I have been Scandal.
And I have been Lies.
And it was great playing with you. Bye!